Has Miles's battle against Aries and the gods of Olympus all been puppeteered by Anansi? And if so, why? Well, let's take a trip into the pages of Miles Morales' Spider-Man issue number 35 and find out together, shall we? So then, as we join this brand new issue, we actually pick on up with Anansi's story from the end of the previous issue, the story of his very first champion. For this, we travel all the way back to the height of the Olympian pantheon, a golden age of heroes, magic, and monsters. Well, you know, if you were one of the full-blooded Olympian gods, not so much if you were Zip Zephyr and some of the lesser cousins, in which case your life sucked just about as much as it did for anyone else. You weren't so much invited to the party as you were the one pouring the drinks. In fact, it was at one of these amazing Olympian parties. Aries, the god of war, decided to stir up some trouble by getting into the ear of his sister Athena, saying that somewhere out there was an amazing weaver, a woman named Arachne, whose skills at the loom were so godlike that people were starting to say that Athena wasn't shit at all. Of course, this isn't the whole truth, but hey, the Olympian gods are petty as all hell. What none of them knew, though, was that Arachne just so happened to be the favored champion of Anansi. Back in those days, he worked in mysterious ways, invisible from the wider world. And yet, there was something about Arachne that was different, something that actually made Anansi care. It's actually heavily implied through the use of dialogue in this one that maybe he loved her, actually. So you can understand when Athena comes spitting fire and brimstone that this mere mortal woman would dare to spit in her face by being better at weaving than her. Before eventually dragging her away to be punished for this slight, Anansi took that pretty damn seriously when Arachne didn't come back, so much to the point he ended up leading the original War of the Gods, where the Vodou pantheon clashed with the ancient Olympians. This is also where Anansi would meet his future rival Aries for the first time. When gods fight, of course, mortals end up suffering, and the destruction was so terrible. The fighting only actually stopped when Skyfather, Zeus, and Bulaku intervened, telling their godly children to basically knock it the hell off and play nice. Though sadly by that point, this war of the pantheons had gone on for way too long. Arachne was killed in the crossfire, and for the first time ever, the trickster god, the god of stories, had a trick played on him. He literally played himself, and I mean, it makes sense. They call them Greek tragedies for a reason, right? Also, if you're interested, Aries ended up taking the bulk of the blame on the Olympian side, and Athena felt so bad she actually went out of her way to make sure that Arachne was resurrected as a spider in honor of Anansi. What this ultimately ends up meaning too is that both of these gods have been nursing grudges for thousands of years and have made their cousins and even Miles and his friends unwitting pawns in this ancient pissing match. And yeah, the young Spider-Man doesn't exactly love this idea. Anansi might have helped him back in Wakanda, but now he's sure as hell feeling used. Not to worry though, now that everything is out in the open, both Aries and Anansi can drop all pretexts, stop working through agents, and start beating the crap out of each other like they always wanted. Now you might be wondering, for being a god of tricksters and storytellers and web weaving, how actually is Anansi in a fight? Well, surprisingly really damn good. As he puts it, he is a god of the first continent, meaning that he's actually been at this for a really long time too, meaning that he actually has a major edge over Aries. The way he fights is awesome too. He's basically weaponized interpretive dance, which makes a lot of sense considering that dancing is a type of storytelling sometimes. For a second there, it actually looks like Anansi is going to win the day. He beats back Aries on his own and even manages to mop the floor with Agent Gao and Pyro when they too get involved. Oh, but Aries ends up rallying and coming back twice as strong. Again, he's the god of war. Fighting and conflict in the regular world power him up. Now there's a literal tournament of gods going on, which seems to supercharge the hell out of him. It's how he uses this newfound power, though, that ends up being really fascinating. He basically wants to try and beat Anansi at his own game, saying, alright, you love stories? Well, let's up the ante. Let's really infuse this story with some drama. It's the final round, double or nothing, winner takes all, and I invoke my power as the last full-blooded son of Olympus to crown myself Skyfather like Zeus before me and change the venue for this final battle. Where does he choose? Oh, just planet Earth, just outside Miles' own Vision Academy. I mean, hey, say what you want about Aries, but the man sure as hell does know story structure, doesn't he? And as the comic comes to a close, he even shows off a brand new golden Skyfather armor, which he vows to use to crush all of his enemies. And so that was Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 35, everybody, and I gotta say, as far as penultimate issues go, this one was real damn solid. Again, I gotta take my hat off to Cody Ziegler for doing such a great job melding the world of superheroes and the world of multiple real-world mythologies together. It's all just so cool, so slick. And as someone who's a major fan of pantheons in general, well, it just kinda tickled me from start to finish. I will admit this issue is a lot more heavier on Anansi than it actually is Miles Morales and his friends. They just kinda patiently sit in the back and wait for their time to get involved. But for what it's worth, it does end up actually creating a sort of Damocles over the situation. Will Miles' relationship with Anansi survive this Tournament of the Gods? Should it even survive? I don't know for certain, but I'll definitely be interested to see where it all goes in the big finale. Ultimately, I'd give this one another 8 out of 10. Good stuff. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.